Okay, I am making this video because I want to talk about my Navy career and my life since I got out. Talk about going to school and some of the things I wish I'd done shortly after I got out of the Navy. Wish I'd done that, but hindsight is always, catch 22. You always wish you would have done some things that would have helped, that would have been a lot better. I wish I'd stayed in the Navy Reserve. Not reserve. I wish I would have stayed in, oh wait a minute. There is a reserve that I wish I'd stayed in. Wish I would have joined when I got out. I'd have well over 20 years. By the time I got out I could have had 20 years combined. Almost 8 years active, almost 12 reserve would have been nice. Then I'd be getting a nice check. But anyway. But we can always look back and think of things that I could have, should have, would have done. But too late now. Too late to do the things I wish I would have done, because I've tried to join the Navy Reserve 2 times, and both times my blood pressure was too high. So I thought joining the Navy Reserve was kind of out of the question, along with my medical issues. I don't think there's too many guys who have a pacemaker in the Navy Reserve, or guys who have had a stroke in the Navy Reserve too. Probably not too many. So me doing that's out of the question. But would have been nice to have done that, but I blew it. Anyway. Eating some nuts. So, the nuts are supposed to be good if you're diabetic. Unsalted ones, but anyway. Mm. Mm. But anyway, oh man, I've been out of the Navy over 20 years now. It's March 4th, 1997 when I got out. So it's been just over 20 years since I've been back in the civilian world. And another thing I regret is having waited a long time to go back to school. I wish I'd gone back to school. Now I wish I'd gone back to school right away. Right after I got out of the Navy. Boom. Go from getting my DD-214, my discharge, to going to school. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd been able to do that, but I didn't. I blew it again. Made a mistake. Should have been able to go to school, spend a lot of time going to school. That would have been nice. Been nice. Then maybe I would have graduated before, I graduated 6 years ago. And if I had gone to school earlier, if I'd gone to school like 4 years earlier than I did, I would have been going to school in 2000, a couple years after I got out, then I probably would have graduated a long time before that, but, yep, I don't know. Anyway, my hair's getting kind of long. I'm going to get a haircut later on today. After I go to Walmart, after I get my get a membership at Sam's Club, so I can go to Sam's Club and buy a few things. Get a few things. Let's see. I don't need someone to go with me when I go grocery shopping. I can do that myself. I can not buy junk food, not buy things that'll make my blood sugar go up. I can't wait to get my license back. Oh man. I have to get my blood sugar down. I have to have it average between 130 and 150 every day. And get my A1C to be between 6 and 8. And then I can hopefully be able to take the driving test to drive. Hopefully my doctor will. My doctor isn't the one. Hopefully the occupational therapist will do that. Will recommend that I be able to take the test, the driving test, and after I take the test, when I'm taking the test, hopefully I'll be able to pass and be able to drive again. Because not being able to drive sucks. It is awful not being able to do that. So anyway, I just can't wait to be able to get my driver's license back and be able to drive on my own and do what I want to do and live my life and not have, not have so many people meddling with my life and telling me things I can't do. That would be a good thing. And also be able to, when I get my license back, I want to be able to get a job and be able to work. Be able to, so I can have some more money, be able to get some of the things I want to get. But, I don't know. And, once you have a stroke, your life is going, and I've said this more than once, said this several times, your life is going to be a battle. Every day, the rest of your life, it is going to be a battle. And it is. You will have to fight and work hard to be able to get back the things you once did before you had the stroke. Before you had the stroke, you're going to have to work to get those back. If you don't want to work, when it comes to learning how to walk again, learning how to live on your own again, to do things on your own, then you might as well go live in a nursing home being taken care of the rest of your life, because it ain't gonna happen if you aren't gonna work hard. You aren't gonna get back almost anything that you've been able to do. You won't be able to do almost anything of what you did at one time unless you work hard to get it back. That is the truth. That is the way it is after you have a stroke. If you want to be taken care of the rest of your life and babysit the rest of your life, then by all means, you can take it easy. You can take it easy, don't do anything, don't work hard to get those things back. No. You gotta work as hard as almost as hard as you've ever worked in your life. You have to. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to. Let me show you something that, you see that? That is a walker I got from when I was at the Navy hospital. Well, not the Navy hospital, but the Veterans Hospital. It's folded up and nice and folded up and sitting nice and neat next to my wall, and that's where it's going to stay. I will never get rid of that, because that is a reminder of how hard, I had to work to be able to walk. I can walk without it. I don't need it. You know, I don't need it anymore because I did work so hard to be able to walk. You know, if I hadn't worked as hard as I had, I would still be using that. I would still be using that every day if I hadn't worked as hard as I did. But I did. If you've ever had a stroke, you know, if you just had a stroke, you will be working to get back as hard as you've ever worked in your life to be able to walk again, to be able to do the simple things that you took for granted. You know, you will be working extremely hard to be able to do that. You know, but if you don't want to work hard, then you might as well find a nursing home to kick back and take it easy, because that is where you belong. You know, if you're not willing to work hard after you have a stroke, then that's where I think where you belong, is a nursing home where you can have everything taken care of for you, where you don't have to do anything for yourself. You know, but if you want to be back on your own, you know, like it is here, you know, if you want to be back on your own, living like I am, you know, in my own place, you know, if you want to be back on your own like I am, then you're going to have to work your butt off. You're going to have to work extremely hard to get to the point where you can do that again. After your stroke, that's what's going to happen. That is what has to happen. You know, I mean, that's what it is. You can't be able to not work hard and to be able to live on your own again. That is not going to happen. That will, almost every time after every stroke, you will have to do that. You will have to work hard, you know, to be able to do that, to be able to get back to the point where you can live on your own and take care of yourself and not need someone to take care of you. You know, that is what needs to be done. You know, I mean, so anyway, but even though I've been out of the Navy for 20 years, I'm proud of the, you know, where, you know, I'll wear almost anything that says Navy on it. You know, I'm proud of the time I was in. I put in almost 8 years. You know, almost 8 long years. It wasn't exactly easy, but that's the way it is. God got me through it. God got me through the Navy, and I survived the Navy. There's a lot of times it would have been so easy to jump off the end of my ship, and that's it. They might find my body, but you know, and going to school too. It would have been easy for me to have just end my life. commit suicide. You know, I met one of the only people to survive jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, and the fact that, you know, we went running up and dived off the bridge. And once he did that, he knew he had made a huge mistake. You know, he was heading straight for the water. And he was able to get himself so he would land feet first instead of face first, you know, face first. And instead, he was able to get himself to a place where he would land feet first. And he talks about 3 miracles happened to keep him from having his fall from the Golden Gate Bridge to kill him. 3 things happened. I don't remember those 3 things. Well, actually, I remember 1 or 2 of them, but no, I remember 3 of them. Well, one was that when he jumped, he knew that there was a person driving by that knew exactly who they should call. You know. And so anyway, they were there right waiting almost within a few minutes, you know, so they could pull him out of the water and he was still alive. You know, that was one thing, you know, that the person knew the exact person they had to call, you know, instead of for it not to take so long. You know, so they're able to get to him almost right away. Another thing, he had a dolphin pushing him up from below. You know, his legs were absolutely shattered. There was nothing he could do to use his legs. They were, you know, completely shattered, you know, so he couldn't use his legs, but there was a dolphin that kept pushing him up towards the surface from below, you know, and that was another miracle that helped save his life. And the third one was there was a doctor at the hospital he went to that wasn't even supposed to be there that day, that knew how to, what was it? Set his legs, or after his legs were broken, that knew how to do something that prevented, you know, that helped him to either be able to survive or be able to help him, you know, so that he was able to be able to walk again, you know. So anyway, but a lot of times it would be so easy to do something like that. It'd be so easy to have done something like that when I was in high school. But I had never really thought about suicide, so it probably really didn't come to my, you know, wasn't something I thought about much. But if I had, it would have been so easy to have done that. But Anyway, I'm going to close this and post it to my YouTube channel and to my Facebook account. See ya.